Hello, and welcome to the 7th video in my series of guides on how to use the coding website Scratch. In this video, I'll be explaining how to use sensing coding blocks and explaining how Booleans and number/text inputs work in Scratch. By now, you probably know how to make a project in Sprite, and if you don't, I recommend you watch the first video, but there's still more to learn about sprites and coding that I haven't explained yet. In the last video, you probably heard me briefly mention Booleans by now, but now I'll be fully explaining how they work, as well as reporters, since the next coding block I'll be explaining, known as sensing, features many more of them than other coding blocks, except for operator, but I'll explain that one in the next video. Booleans look like diamonds and essentially check for the way that things are, and whether they're true or false. Essentially, Booleans are true or false statements. For example, a Boolean in the sensing category of code is key space pressed, as it will either be true if the space key is being pressed, or false if it's not. Booleans can be used in control blocks to help them know when to run. If you want to learn more about control blocks and you haven't already, please watch the previous videos in this series. Reporters look like ovals and are values that store information. They can typically store information about text or numbers. There's some other reporters that I've gone over in previous videos, but I haven't mentioned them being reporters, so I'll quickly mention them again. That being X position, Y position, direction, caution number, backdrop number, size, and volume. I'll go way more into detail when we get into the next video, but for now though, whenever I'm talking about sensing reporters, I'll use some of these operator booleans to do so. One last thing to note is that you can see the state of either boolean or reporter by clicking on it. You can click on this box to showcase a reporter on screen without needing to look into the code. Now I'll go over to the sensing blocks. This category has way less actual coding blocks and is more about reporters and booleans, so I'll use a lot more coding blocks from different categories to showcase exactly what they do. Touching mouse pointer is a boolean that will check for if the current sprite is touching the mouse pointer. Touching color is a boolean that will check if the sprite is touching the color you set it to. You can change the color in this little circle similar to changing colors in the costume menu, and use this pen to set it to a color that's on the screen. Color touching color is a boolean that will check if one of the sprite's color is touching another color on screen. The first color has to be a color from the sprite using the code block, and the other color can be a color from any different sprite. Distance to mouse pointer is a number-based reporter that will be set to however much distance the sprite is away from your mouse pointer. Ask what's your name and wait is one of the few normal coding blocks. It'll make the sprite ask whatever question you put into it and wait for a response that you can give by putting in the text bubble on screen. Whatever answer you put into it will become the text-based reporter answer. Key space press is a boolean that checks for whenever the space key is pressed. You can also change this to be any letter or number. Mouse down is a boolean that checks for wherever the mouse button is being held. Mouse X and mouse Y are numbers based on reporters that are set to X and Y coordinate of the mouse. Set drag mode draggable will make it so the sprite is able to be dragged around by the mouse while the project is being played. You can always drag something around in the editor, but this lets you drag it in the actual project. You can also change it to set drag mode not draggable to revert this change. Loudness is a number-based reporter that keeps track of the loudness of your microphone if it's enabled. Timer is a number-based reporter that keeps track of how long the project has been running. Reset timer is a code block that resets this timer that I mentioned. Backdrop of stage is a number-based reporter that is set to whatever backdrop the stage is in. You're able to change the backdrop part of this reporter and change it into backdrop hashtag, backdrop name, volume, and your own variables, which we'll get into in video 9. Current year is a number-based reporter that is set to whatever the current year is, and this will update every year. Right now it's 2026, so it'll be set to 2026. You can also change it to be the current month, date, day of the week, hour, minute of the hour, or second of the minute. It will automatically update to whatever the current time is. Days since 2000 is a number-based reporter that will be set to however many days it's been since the year 2000. Similar to current year, it will automatically update for however many days it's been. Online is a Boolean that becomes true if the user is online to the internet and false if they're not. And lastly, username is a text-based reporter that will be set to whatever the user's username is, and this is custom for anyone viewing the project. If the user viewing the project isn't logged in and doesn't have a username, it'll just be blank. This video is about to end, but if you want more clarification on how reporters work, I recommend you watch the next video on how to use operator code. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll try my best to respond. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.